Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The centre has made it clear that there is no need to panic amidst the recent COVID threat. The focus is back on test, track, treat and vaccinate. The revised COVID curbs are in place to create firewalls to keep us safe. But it's our own responsibility as responsible citizens to take the precautions and the prun to keep ourselves safe. But ladies and gentlemen, it seems that some are taking it lightly and not in the mood to oblige to these protocols. Yes, day after calling the COVID scare a bahana, a nonchalant Rahul Gandhi continued with his Bharat Jodo Yatra, though there were lots of Congress supporters, but key ingredients like face masks, social distancing and sanitizers have still been missing third day in a row. Rahul Gandhi's defiance, and you can't call it anything other than defiance, because if there is a protocol and if it is important to wear masks, that's what people should do. But this defiance has emboldened his former ally, that is the JDS, helming the Panch Ratna Yatra, HD Kumaraswamy, to march on without bothering about social distancing and any COVID precautions. Raining fire, the BJP slammed the Congress, defying the protocol. In place, not mincing any words, the ministers gunned for Rahul Gandhi and company for undermining the COVID fright. Listen in.
देश के एक नागरिक के नाते उनको पालन करना है नहीं करना, कांग्रेस पार्टी अगर जिम्मेदार पार्टी है तो डिसाइड करे, यही मैं कहना चाहता हूँ। और चाइना के बारे में हमने बार बार इनका जो प्रीवियस रिकॉर्ड है वो भी हमने दिया है। जब स्थिति नॉर्मल थी तब भी इन लोगों ने चाइना पर चर्चा के लिए अलो नहीं किया है। आज दोपहर में भी मैं डिटेल जब इन लोगों ने इनकार किया, डिटेल मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन दे हैव रिजेक्टेड मेनी टाइम्स।
भारत जोड़ो यात्रा 1.5 महीने से चल रही होगी, कौन आया कौन गया किसको फर्क पड़ता है। लेकिन अगर राहुल गांधी जी के साथ एक राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री जो चले, जिसको राहुल जी ने गले में हाथ डाल के चले, वो पॉजिटिव पाए, कोविड पॉजिटिव पाएंगे, उनकी यात्रा में कई और लोग कोविड पॉजिटिव पाएंगे, इसका जिम्मेदार कौन है? क्या एक परिवार देश के नियम कानून को बिल्कुल नहीं मानता?
इसी दृष्टिकोण से भारत सरकार ने सभी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स, सभी लोकल बॉडीज की, सभी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को इंक्लूडिंग बीजेपी को एडवाइजरी दिया है। ऐसा जो भी सार्वजनिक कार्यक्रम में हो सकते तो सभी पूरे लोग कोविड प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो करना चाहिए, यात्रा रोकने के लिए नहीं बोले हम।
But the Congress is quick to dismiss the whole COVID threat as a drama orchestrated by the centre because it believes that BJP is rattled by Rahul Gandhi's popularity. And this is what the Congress said.
If there is a protocol, scientific protocol, medical protocol, health protocol, we will follow it. And I am telling you voluntarily today. And I wore the mask longer than the Prime Minister wore it yesterday.
ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यजनक है। केंद्रीय मंत्री जी भी बहुत परिपक्व हैं और मेरी भी स्वास्थ्य मंत्री के रूप में लगातार उनसे बात होती रहती है और काफ़ी सहयोग भी मिलता रहता है। ऐसे में कोई ऐसा बयान कि जो चीज़ को राजनीति की तरफ ले जाए, कोरोना के संदर्भ में कम से कम, बाकी हमारे पास बहुत सारे फोरम हैं जहां राजनीति हो सकती है।
आज तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी नहीं कहा कि मास्क लगाना जरूरी है कंपल्सरी। आज तो उन्होंने कोई ऐसा दिशा निर्देश दिया नहीं। हम दिशा निर्देश का पालन करते हुए किसी भी कीमत पर भाजपा की साजिश को नाकामयाब करेंगे जो यात्रा रोकना चाहती है। हम हर हाल में दिशा निर्देश पालन करते हुए यात्रा जाएगी।
सरकार को सबसे पहले चिट्ठी लिखे थे और ये वो लोग सवाल पूछ रहे हैं। मुझे तो कभी लगता है कि कुछ स्पेशल रिलेशन है बीजेपी का कोरोना से। उसकी रैली में नहीं जाता है, दूसरी की रैली में चला जाता है। और डे नाइट का सेंस कितना है कोरोना को, दिन में हो जाता है रात में नहीं होता है। आप लोगों ने देखा ना।
ನನಗೊಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇದೆ, ಈಗ ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಒಂದು ಭೂತ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಈ ಪಂಚರತ್ನ ರಥಯಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜನತೆಯ ಒಂದು ಅಲೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ। ಕೇಶವ ಕೃಪಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತು ಚರ್ಚೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ಗಮನಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದು ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಾದರೂ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಜನ ಸೇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಹುನ್ನಾರ ನಡೀತಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ.
So the legitimate question we are asking on the Newshour tonight, is ego bigger than protocol? Is politics bigger than the COVID fight? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me on the Newshour debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress party, Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst, Tanveer Ahmed, spokesperson of the JDS, Sushmita Dey, member of parliament and national spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. But my first question goes to Mr. Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal ji, has it become an ego issue? Because all you need to do is just follow the protocol, use masks because there is a huge crowd there, and in your own words, it's a successful Bharat Jodo Yatra, many people present there. It's not for Mr. Modi or anybody in the BJP. I think you should be worried about your own supporters and party workers to keep them safe. So what's the big deal about all the time threatening, dar gaye, tum log drama kar rahe ho, and not wearing a mask?
The BJP government has more to answer to this, the manner in which they have come after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. From day one, it has been sending out a message that initially they were spreading a message that nobody is going to join, but as they saw that there were lakhs of people coming and walking along with Rahul Gandhi ji. Secondly, when they stated that there is no need for Bharat Jodo, but we saw that people claim their solidarity to the motive, and slowly and steadily, as Congress is coming stronger and stronger, there is a fear within BJP. And now with this particular bahana of COVID crisis, it is trying to somehow derail the Bharat Jodo Yatra so that the political damage that this Bharat Jodo Yatra is causing to BJP, it could be controlled, it could be managed. So the entire point is, COVID का बहाना है, भारत जोड़ो यात्रा को रुकाना है.
वाह, क्या बात है. Sushmita Dev ji, you think COVID scare in China, in Korea, in Japan, in the United States is all a bahana, and therefore we should just say कोई बात नहीं, COVID आ रहा है तो आने दो, कम से कम कांग्रेस को it will not attract. Is that the attitude that should be held? Is Mr. Lokesh Jindal right in giving this reasoning from the Congress point of view?
See, I'll tell you something. If COVID is a real threat again, and if we are going to face another pandemic, then the government in all seriousness has to be perceived as or seen as doing many things. It cannot just say stop public rallies and now that's the solution. I mean, day before yesterday, the Yuva Morcha president was in Tripura. He did a bike rally. He's done 3 rallies across the state, and at the same time, the health minister was attacking the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Okay, if you are serious about COVID, what are you doing at airports? What are you doing at railway stations? What are you doing at other crowded places? So you can't do selective work for COVID. If you're serious about COVID, then sit together, have an all-party meeting, take a decision, and go ahead. I mean, you can't do selective with a Bharat Jodo Yatra, you can't do, but you can go to a wedding, you know, without a mask. You'll wear a mask inside parliament, but, the Yuva Morcha president can do a bike rally in Tripura. You can't have these knee-jerk reactions which are politically motivated. And I think what we have seen in the last pandemic, we have lots to learn. So let's not repeat the mistakes. And I'm bound to say, Navika, during the 2021 elections of Assam and Bengal, we kept saying that scale it down, Election Commission didn't. The top leadership of BJP continued to campaign through the 5 or 7 phases of Bengal elections. So don't politicize COVID. If they're serious about it, don't use it against one party or the other party. Use it for certain crowded situations and not for other crowded situations. Do a coherent thing that makes sense. I
want to take that question to Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla. Shehzad Poonawalla, the charge against the BJP is that you're being selective, you're doing all this only to target a few and not really as a comprehensive COVID fight back policy? Respond.
Let me first tell the nation through your show what the government has started already doing, and thereafter I want to make a couple of additional points. So first of all, right on 20th, on the day when the notice was issued to Bharat Jodo Yatra, on that day states were also issued a notice by Rajesh Bhushan, the health secretary. Today you have seen, apart from the earlier review meeting that was done by health minister and by prime minister, today the health minister has called a meeting and done a review with all the state health ministers to re-emphasize on what COVID appropriate behavior on testing, tracking, treating and other things that need to be done, ramping up the infrastructure if required. All of those things, steps have been taken. Apart from that, there is a constant monitoring of this particular substrain and ensuring that genome sequencing is done. Now, apart from that, today itself we have launched the nasal vaccine also for the precautionary dose. Apart from that, let me also tell you that the random sampling at airports has taken place, and in fact I want to congratulate Bengal government. Madam Sushmita Dev perhaps is not aware that Bengal government, Karnataka government, Uttarakhand government, Uttar Pradesh government, various state governments have already taken various steps in early before the center could even tell them. This is because they also feel that the COVID pandemic is not a bahana but it is a reality. But now I have a couple of 2-3 important questions. First important question is that why is it that one parivar puts parivar above protocol? It puts parivar hit above desh hit, and here is a very important picture. This is a picture of Rahul Gandhi with Sukhuji. Now Sukhuji tested, this is of 16 December. 16 December, Rahul Gandhi is hand in hand with Sukhuji. Sukhuji tested positive on 19 December. Navika, what is the first protocol that if you are in contact with a COVID positive person, what you have to do? You have to isolate yourself, test yourself, at the very least wear a mask, and then come into the public. I want to first ask from Rahul Gandhi's spokesperson, because I can see 3-4 spokespersons of Rahul Gandhi on this panel, even though past they have left Rahul Gandhi, but they're still spokespersons of Rahul Gandhi. I want to ask them that did Rahul Gandhi isolate himself after coming in contact with a COVID positive patient? This is the first thing that they should have done.
That's a legitimate...
Second, Rahul Gandhi says mask bahana hai. Look, Anand Ranganathan will tell you the vaccine hesitancy Congress had spread. Bachade ka khoon hai, vaccine fake hai, vaccine pe bharosa mat karo. Now they are spreading mask hesitancy. That mask istemal nahi karna hai. Tomorrow, if God forbid Anand and I were to say ki oxygen le lo, oxygen acha hai, ye Tehsin Poonawala naak band karke baith jayega debate pe. He will stop breathing. This is the kind of Modi विरोध में कोविड विरोध भूल गए हैं ये सारे लोग. Now I want to ask तहसीन पूनावाला, 10 days quarantine किया राहुल गांधी ने अपने आप को?
At least has he got tested? It's a legitimate question, yes. Tehsin Poonawala. Yes. And like I said, it's not about protecting the BJP. It's about protecting the Congress workers and senior leaders who are in contact with Mr. Gandhi.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm sure I will be allowed to speak and I won't be interrupted because I also have pictures to show and I won't be interrupted. So I agree with what Ms. Sushmita Dev said. And I always say one phrase on your show which has got very popular. I think I'm going to patent it and get an NFT out of it, Anand. It says, Johan is either pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. So either there are protocols in place or there are no protocols in place. If there are protocols in place, I have the Constitution of India. Under the protocols, everybody from the most honorable Prime Minister of India to Rahul Gandhi comes underneath it. The date and the photograph Shehzad is showing post that, the photograph. This is the most honorable Prime Minister in a shadi without any mask. Next day he's wearing a mask in Parliament in a shadi with braid. This is the most honorable Prime Minister. This is Ms. Dev will tell you the West Bengal pictures. Their leaders doing rallies out there. This is the most honorable Prime Minister, the most honorable Home Minister. No mask, both of them. So I agree with what Ms. Dev said. Protocols must come in. It must come in for everybody. Now let me put point number 2. As so far as Bharat Jodo is concerned, I am joining Bharat Jodo in January. Some of my friends from Mumbai are coming. And what have we been asked to do? We've been asked to make sure that we have our COVID vaccine certificates, we have our booster certificates, and we'll be COVID tested for the 24 hours before joining the Yatra. That's what they've been told to do because these cases are rising. Now my last point, and I would like to end here. On 8th Feb 2020, you may check the tapes. I was on Times Now with a colleague of yours. Anand was on that show. Anand was the only one supporting me. On that show, the same BJP spokesperson, then not a BJP spokesperson, was then he was mocking me. He was mocking me because on that show, I said COVID is a serious threat, as Rahul Gandhi said. And his exact words on your show were, in your colleague's show, are you making fool out of this country? Are you guys experts? 8th February 2020, Times Now 10 p.m. show. This gentleman was mocking me. COVID came. In the second wave, in Mr. Sushmita Dev said, hold on. Let me expose. Hold on. In the second wave,
okay, you respond, but Tehseen Puran, I don't care about whether the BJP is targeting or not, and whether Rahul Gandhi is getting targeted, or whether who is thinking this is a drama. My question is not about that. Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his own right is a very popular leader. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is doing the Padyatra. Many people come and join him. Even if it's more than 5 people, it's many people. So if many people are there, he should be taking some precautions, and therefore when you're meeting people, over the last 2 years we've all followed this discipline. Come into contact with somebody COVID positive and get tested, and only then meet other people. Isn't that right?
Give me 10 seconds. Tehseen, please do not interrupt. This is my time to speak. I am asking and reiterating. Yeah, you don't need to shout.
Yeah, you can respond. 10 seconds question and then respond.
10 seconds. I am reiterating. I'm not talking about testing. Before you test, you have to isolate yourself because you could be an asymptomatic carrier. Did Rahul Gandhi, as a responsible person, isolate himself, get himself tested? And secondly, is he promoting mask hesitancy? Please इधर उधर मत भागिए तहसीन पूनावाला, ये 35 वर्ष मैंने बहुत देखा है, सीधे पॉइंट पे बोलिए.
Okay, may I please respond, and I won't be interrupted, and I'll respond.
There are no blackmails and conditions that go.
No,
but yes,
he's the one who interrupts.
Answer the two questions.
He should not interrupt.
Answer the two valid questions being asked, please.
There are very pertinent and valid questions. I am saying that for Bharat Jodo, at least what I've been told, when I joined, mask is compulsory. I've been told that, and all protocols have to be.
वो तो January है ना, after the break.
Ma'am, please allow me to speak, please. That's January after the break. Doesn't matter. For now, I agree, all protocols must be put in place, including for Rahul Gandhi, including for Madam Mamata Banerjee, including for the most honorable Prime Minister. You can't target one over the other. Second point, and I want to make. I think Rahul Gandhi should. I cannot have this speak. I cannot be on a show, yeah? Why does he talk like he's the anchor? You cannot let somebody else make the point. What is this behavior?
The question is a legitimate question. Answer it and we move on.
I am answering it, but why does he interrupt? Anchor.
Well, Tehseen, you can continue to be outraged. Let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. 1 minute. Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, it's a legitimate question to ask, was there isolation? But are we getting involved again in the political fight, or are we really looking at public health and public safety measures here? What are we really talking about? Politics or public health safety?
Navika, look, I've been listening very patiently to my fellow, and I really can't believe that I'm hearing this after 3 years of devastation that COVID has caused. Looks like we haven't learned any lessons. I mean, for anyone to be saying, especially the Congress spokesperson to be saying, even uttering this sentence, COVID to bahana hai, and someone saying mask to bahana hai. Really? Navika, please let us not bring politics into science, because all what we will end up with then is political science. Now, you have a 1 hour wonderful debate. I just beg of you to give me 2.5 minutes, because everyone's talking politics. I want to talk science for just 2 minutes, because can you please allow?
When we speak, they interrupt us. That's the way it is. It's always that way. We never get our say because BJP
Tehseen, please get.
You must speak.
Tehseen Poonawala ji, there's no vaccination for persecution complex. After speaking for 4 minutes, if you still think that you're persecuted, my friend, just take a deep breath, calm down, listen to the scientific argument by Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan only.
Thank you, Navika. Please, just 2.5 minutes, because you must allow me to make a few points in light of a lot of panic being spread. Number one, the BF7XBB variants that are the cause of skyrocketing infections in China are Omicron sublineage variants and not Delta variants. This makes them less deadly than Delta for the general population. Just this week, in fact, 5 days ago, an authoritative Lancet study reports that Omicron infected patients were 58% less likely and 67% less likely than Delta patients to require oxygen and ventilator support respectively. As to why this is so, there are multiple theories like A, Omicron infects upper respiratory tract while Delta infected lower respiratory region, therefore more deadly, and B, because Omicron variants are highly infectious, 3 to 4 times more infectious than Delta. They don't allow our immune system to mount a major response in time, and therefore there are less chances of a cytokine burst. Point number 2, how effective are our vaccines and especially boosters against these new variants? The booster is of the vaccines, remember, designed to make antibodies against the spike protein of the original SARS-CoV-2 virus. That is now vastly different from the Omicron spike protein. So the booster will be as effective in generating neutralizing antibodies against Omicron as the original vaccines are. That is little or unfortunately no help. Now let me come to the final and most important point, Navika, to calm those panicking, especially some on the panel. Navika, the disappearance of neutralizing antibodies so soon post-vaccination is worrying, but it does not reflect poorly on our immune system's fighting capacity as a whole. This is because protection against any disease or infection is elicited through 2 main pathways. The neutralizing antibodies that are produced by B cells, and second, an army of T cells. These T cells give a longer lasting immunity. There are either killer T cells or CD8 plus T cells that are actively research and destroy virus cells, or helper T cells or CD4 plus T cells that stimulate production of antibodies and killer T cells. Important to remember that T cells do not prevent infection, as they come in only after the virus is infected and settled. But they are crucial, Navika, in fighting the infection. So even if neutralizing antibodies are lost, we still have T cell driven immunity. Just 30 seconds. How do we test for robustness of our T cell immunity? 2 methods, and both are laborious and expensive. Next gen sequencing to identify T cell receptors, or tetramer technology involving flow cytometry. No one in India is doing it, unfortunately, and so vaccine effectiveness is unfortunately being judged only by neutralizing antibody response. So my advice to everyone around the panel and otherwise as well, trust your body's immune system and do not panic. Your body is fighting. And as for Tehseen saying that we will continue to say or allow Rahul Gandhi to say कि mask to bahana hai, Tehseen, you are better than that, my friend. Please do not spread panic and unnecessary wrong news.
No. So I understand in that whole scientific jargon. Only one question that I have, Dr. Anand Ranganathan: mask पहनना है कि नहीं पहनना है?
Yes.
So we come to the basic point that we should be wearing the mask, because the response of our immune system against an unknown variant that may have developed, the BF7, we don't know what it's going to be. So should we be safer than sorry, Mr. Tanveer Ahmed? You know, should we be safe than sorry? But Mr. Kumaraswamy has joined the same sur and tal mile sur mera tumhara with Rahul Gandhi. Anybody who's asking us to take any curbs or any precautions is actually targeting our yatra because they are politically scared. Do you think this kind of a stand actually helps increase awareness in common citizens?
Tanveer bhai, can I take 10 seconds? I want to make a scientific point I forgot to make. Just 10 seconds, Tanveer bhai.
Anything. Sure.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you so much. Navika, I apologize. I did not mean to interrupt Tanveer bhai. But the fact is that the new variants are so much more infectious. The R0 value is about 18. That they are infecting so many people so rapidly that even if they are less in terms of their severity, the point is you will have enough old age population and those who have, morbidity situation to be infected by these variants and then cause severity. So that is why wearing a mask is very important. Sorry, Tanveer bhai, please continue.
Tanveer Ahmed.
All right. Firstly, let me just tell you, is BJP doing drama? Absolutely. Any person with a sane mind would really understand BJP is certainly doing drama. Why, when the health minister had to really issue a letter to Rahul Gandhi, why didn't he issue a letter to the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, who was having rallies? Why didn't he issue a letter to Mr. Baswanagoda Patil Yatnal, who was with 45,000 people yesterday? He was there in Belagavi. Anil Shetty here in Bangalore, BTM layout. This is absolutely okay. Still the flights are coming from US, flights are coming from China to every part of India, and no protocol is being really taken care. Now it really shows the bigger game of BJP is not to target Rahul Gandhi for today. Tomorrow, when this disease is going to really spread totally bigger and larger, they need to really have one person to blame, saying that Rahul Gandhi ne maar diya, Kumaraswamy ne maar diya. Ye pehle hi drama. Last time to Nizamuddin tha. आज राहुल गांधी को कल बहाना बनाएंगे, कुमार स्वामी को बहाना बनाएंगे. If you want to issue a protocol, as a scientific person, Mr. Anand Ranganathan was saying, please issue a protocol to the entire country, make it mandatory that everybody should wear a mask. The Prime Minister of India would go for a wedding without wearing a mask, and he would ask Rahul Gandhi, who's absolutely, really, we need to really appreciate. We said Rahul Gandhi is a pappu, he has no support. Now today we see lakhs of people are really rallying behind Rahul Gandhi, and that pappu would have really gone. They said Kumar Swami is absolutely a beaten leader who would cry, who would do nothing. Today Kumar Swami, every place he's going, he's getting 50, 70, 80,000 people for last 21 days. Now I can really say that only one thing is really biting BJP because of 40% corruption here in Karnataka and the mismanagement and not adhering and answering to the youth aspiration in the country. Modi is really totally frightened, BJP is frightened, and especially Karnataka government is absolutely totally rattled.
Well, okay, so the BJP is frightened, success of Rahul Gandhi, success of Kumaraswamy, and that's why you are targeting few people, you're not targeting your own people. It's all completely drama, and the conspiracy theory that when and if COVID situation gets bad, you will have a fall guy in the form of Rahul Gandhi. Respond to the charge.
Okay, now let me answer one by one. How effective Bharat Jodo Yatra is has been said by Nakul Nath ji, who said कि मेरी उप यात्रा में ज़्यादा भीड़ है. In fact, we want Rahul Gandhi to do यात्रा continuously. जहाँ इनकी यात्रा गई वहाँ हम चुनाव जीते हैं. जहाँ नहीं गई वहाँ पर शायद उनके लिए भला हुआ. तो now तनवीर अहमद आप कांग्रेस ज्वाइन कर लियो. Have you done alliance with Congress already? Is your alliance sealed with Congress? नहीं तनवीर, have you sealed the alliance with Congress? निकाह हो गया क्या कांग्रेस के साथ? जवाब देने दो. I'm talking about Congress. JDS.
Tanveer Ahmed, allow you to complete and then you can rebut. Sushmita Dev also wants to come in.
Kumaraswamy should watch Times Now. He says tears of poison because of Congress, and Tanveer Ahmed is defending Congress. Imagine, Kumaraswamy says tears of poison because of Congress, and Kumaraswamy's spokesperson is defending Congress. Now please Tanveer, let's have a civilized debate. Please.
Okay,
I'll finish, then you make your point.
Make your point.
Now, second point, you are saying that, oh, because we want to blame Rahul Gandhi, that's why we are saying this. Madam, which is the only constant, continuous yatra, political engagement of hundreds and hundreds of people where somebody has tested positive of the level of a chief minister? Which is the only yatra which has done that? It is the Bharat Jodo Yatra or COVID Jodo Yatra, these days people are calling it, or COVID Jamaat, or some people are calling it, whatever they want to call it. I call it Bharat Jodo Yatra. So it is that yatra. Therefore, necessarily we have said that, look, this yatra, somebody has tested positive, a chief minister, please follow the COVID appropriate behavior. Teesri baat, Rahul Gandhi has said, today I want one statement from all the panelists. Rahul Gandhi has said COVID bahana hai, which means Mamta Banerjee is wrong because her government has put in place guidelines. Uttarakhand government is wrong, Uttar Pradesh government is wrong, Telangana government is wrong, Gujarat government is wrong, Karnataka government is wrong, Delhi government is wrong. All these governments are wrong. Rahul Gandhi is right, and he's saying COVID to kuch nahi hai, bahana hai. Is that statement something we can endorse? And last point. This is not new. Rahul Gandhi's spokespersons first they made some bahanas and they said कि vaccine नहीं लगाना है. They promoted vaccine hesitancy, and now it is down to mass hesitancy. Therefore, I am very scared that they are trying to take this country because China में global headlines बन रहा है. अब China के साथ MOU है. चाइना के साथ MOU है, तो चाइना कैसे बदनाम हो, ग्लोबल हेडलाइंस कैसे निकले?
So another conspiracy theory. Sushmita Dev, you know, just asking people to wear masks and do social distancing, does that show that somebody is politically scared and wanting to stop the yatra? I mean, are we taking this politics to a ridiculous level?
Listen, I think it is extremely unfortunate to politicize COVID given what happened in the past. All I'm saying is, please stop the blame game. Let's not forget that it was the massive public meeting in Gujarat in which, if you remember, President Trump came in February, just before COVID started. Do you remember that, Navika? When COVID was knocking at the doors, China was falling apart. It is the BJP who got lakhs of people in Gujarat and invited the US president to come instead of worrying for COVID. So let's not politicize this against that. Everybody should wear a mask. But all I am saying is, I am giving you a live example of 18th of December, because I was working there for my party. This is Tejasvi Surya. This is Tejasvi Surya and Chief Minister of Tripura on 18th of December. Why is the Health Minister not writing to them? That's the problem. Yes, I agree with you, Navika. Everybody should wear a mask. Everybody should wear a mask. Don't do selective, selective protocols. That's all I'm saying.
Point well taken,
Navika,
Anand Ranganathan. I'm coming to you. Anand Ranganathan.
Yes. Yeah, Navika, I want to make a very substantive point. Now, Shehzad has two brothers on this panel. One is Tehseen and the other is me. So he would recognize that I am not going to be just saying things just to antagonize him. I am making objective points. Number one, Tanveer Bhai has a very valid point.
I think
where is the government circular against all yatras and all rallies? It doesn't exist. So for Shehzad to say that one yatra has 20 people, other has 40, one has COVID positive, one is wearing mask, no, I'm sorry. There has to be one simple circular in 5 lines for every yatra and rally.
And Sushmita, they've also raised the same question. In Tripura, no letters are written and letters are written to Rahul Gandhi, and that many would call is different strokes for different folks.
May I answer this? I want to satisfy both my brother Anand Ranganathan and Sushmita ji, who is a member of the opposition. The letter written on 20th, the first line of Rajesh Bhushan's letter reads that we must focus on the 5-fold strategy of testing, treating, vaccination and adherence to COVID appropriate behavior. This is written to all states. All states. Sir, sun lijiye. Now, Anand ji, let me explain. Anand ji, let me explain. This is the letter written on to all states. Point number 1. It includes COVID appropriate behavior for all yatras, all gatherings. Secondly, I am sure you've seen another scientific mind on this channel, Randeep Guleria. Now, Randeep Guleria has said 2 very important things. 1, there is no immediate need to ban international flights. 2, there is no immediate need to ban all social gatherings. We have not told Bharat Jodo Yatra band kar do, Karnataka mein JDS ki yatra band kar do. We have only said COVID appropriate behavior maan lo. But they are saying I will not even do COVID appropriate behavior.
You will say that you will have to wear the entire space suit and all and move around in the country.
Ye kya baat hai? This is ridiculous. No, let's have cogent and logical arguments. Tehseen Poonawala, I'm just saying, you, me, any Congress worker or any citizen of this country, we are all normal human beings without being, born out of some sci-fi film by Steven Spielberg. All of us can get infected, and so can Rahul Gandhi. The question here is that he was in contact with a COVID positive person. Should he not actually take precautions, and should he not spread the word amongst not just his own party workers, but also the rest of the citizens? Because like you say, there are, one half of the country which may have voted for the BJP, the other half votes for the opposition. So the job is on the opposition's shoulders as well to convince people to follow COVID appropriate behavior.
Very much. It is on the opposition's responsibility because this is an unscientific government. On 8 December 2020 on your show, they were promoting homeopathy and they were laughing at me. Anand was with me on that show. It's an unscientific government. But let me just make 2 points of science that are very important for you. Number 1, I think every single person, and Anand, I disagree with you. I said it must wear a mask, including Shri Rahul Gandhi, including Madam Mamata Banerjee, including the most honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, sir, who has not been wearing it except in Parliament. Point number 1. Point number 2, very important point that I want to make. When the first wave happened, all of us kept saying it's a super spreader. You did Namaste Trump. When the second wave happened and we were all working, the Prime Minister was doing Didi Didi in West Bengal. He was having massive rallies. The Prime Minister is responsible. If today Rahul Gandhi must be responsible for something that hasn't happened, 500,000 people have lost their life. By that same yardstick, why is the most honorable Prime Minister not being held accountable is my question. You can't get away by questioning opposition. One last picture.
Have there been omissions on both sides? And is the BJP being political when it writes to Rahul Gandhi and not to other leaders? It's the topmost question in people of India's minds. Where do you stand on that?
No, Navika, let me first slightly disagree with my brother Shehzad. Then I will come to my other brother Tehseen. I mean, this really is Cain and Abel story, this debate. But number 1, Shehzad is being too clever by half by saying that, this kind of advisory was given. Now, COVID appropriate behavior does not just include that if you have come in contact with a COVID positive patient, you have to quarantine yourself like he's asking Rahul Gandhi to do. COVID appropriate behavior has 7 or 8 things, which none of the BJP members attending those mass rallies are doing. So BJP is as guilty as Congress is, as Shahzad is alleging Congress is. That's point number 1. Point number 2, and here Tehseen number 1, when you accuse this government of being unscientific promoting homeopathy, please remember that Dr. Manmohan Singh gave Padma Shri to a homeopath. So let's not go down that line. Number 3. Now, so Congress was also unscientific. Congress was also unscientific.
You think homeopathy science? You think homeopathy science?
Let's not go that route. Then you'll start debating Ayurveda, homeopathy, and I don't think any of us are qualified to have that debate except Anand Ranganathan. But
no, very quickly, for Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Lokesh Jindal to mock mask and COVID as bahana must be condemned not only by BJP, not only by apolitical people, by Sushmita ji, by Tanveer bhai, but also by Tehseen. So use this platform, Tehseen, and say, Rahul Gandhi, please apologize for saying mask bahana.
No, but Tehseen is saying January we will join him, and that is the time protocol will be followed. We've got, but nobody is talking about the time period between 18th of December till today.
Let me address 3 very quick points, and after that I think Sushmita ji also wants to speak. See, look, first of all, 20th this notice was issued to all states that COVID appropriate behavior must be adhered to. Now Anand says that it contains a large number of things, but the foremost of that is, and which even without the notification, as a responsible person one would do, is that if you realize that you've been in touch with somebody who's COVID positive, you should not become an asymptomatic carrier, and at the very least you should mask up so that you don't threaten the lives of your few handful of fans who are remaining in your yatra. So that is the most important. Now who's selective? Madam, ye wahi ब्रिगेड है ना, कावड़ यात्रा बंद करो, ये महाकुंभ से फैल रहा है, उत्तर प्रदेश में देखो कहर बढ़ता है, एंड जब केरल में ईद के बाद विस्फोट हुआ कोरोना का, मैक्सिमम डेथ्स वर इन केरला.
Tanveer Ahmed, everybody is guilty. Everybody is guilty. I'm running out of time. Everybody is guilty of formation.
ये तहसीन पुनावाला की पार्टी बोल रही थी बछड़े का खून है वैक्सीन में. ये तहसीन पुनावाला की पार्टी बोल रही थी कोवैक्सीन लगाना मत, मर जाओगे.
1 second, this is a lie.
No, 1 minute. Tanveer Ahmed, everybody is guilty at one stage or the other.
I think I would agree that everybody is guilty, but the government of the day is more guilty because they are absolutely not. It's issuing circular and making a law. It's two different things. I think
you are 500 grams guilty, they are 1 kg guilty. Sushmita Dev, last word. The only lady other than me on the panel, Sushmita Dev gets the last word.
You know, I just want to add to all of this. On 22nd of November, everybody is going on and on about vaccinations and having the booster. The government of India gave an affidavit saying they never said vaccination is mandatory in anybody who's died as a side effect of the vaccination. The government has nothing to do with it. Now, please, so people who are giving sermons on this is what the health minister wrote and that is what the health minister wrote, and these are the precautions. This is a government of India has absolutely washed their hands off from the vaccination. The
Shehzad Poonawalla writing letters, writing advisories or giving detailed guidelines, is that the need of the hour? And what about the question, Sushmita?
Sushmita ji, why should the liability of a private... 1 second now, Sushmita ji, please. Why should the Sushmita ji, you can't hijack my time. It's my time to respond to your question. Why should we as a government give immunity for the liability of a private limited company? And if you are so considerate, then for the COVID... 1 second, madam, don't interrupt. Madam, don't interrupt. Madam, I can shout louder than you. I can outshout you. But the fact is that when the Supreme Court said pay the compensation to COVID families, affected families, your government is the worst performer when it comes to paying the families, victims compensation. So please, madam, and you are more than entitled that your state government takes the liability for any kind of
ladies and gentlemen, we can argue on all of this till the cows come home. But the bottom line today is just one. There is no need to panic for sure. But COVID appropriate behavior, which we know as, in the back of our hands. We know it, when we are sleeping or waking hours, anytime. We know, 2 gaz ki duri, mask hai zaruri. And that's all this boils down to. And what's the problem in wearing a mask and social distancing? It's the least that we can do, even if there is no reality, just a little fear or a little warning that COVID infections may be round the corner. The first thing we need to do is mask up and follow social distancing. Why are we creating a new political Mahabharata on this? It's a question that people of India at least cannot understand. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.